Brad with BEM Team Racing for another episode of Off the Dirt. It's actually our 5th episode. And welcoming today, Chess Williams of Williams Racing.
How's it going?
Hey, it's going. I am so happy to have you here. You blew up our Facebook.
I was hoping so. I mean, you guys are a real good, solid group of people, and I'm glad to have to sit down and talk about some racing.
And I am excited to have you here. I can tell you that much. This is going to be a great episode of Off the Dirt. So, me and Chess, we raced a couple seasons together. We'll get into that a little bit later. So let's start from the beginning. I don't know how beginning you want to go, but I want to know, like everyone else, what was your start into racing and what came about to start Williams Team Racing?
Well, what got me hooked on to racing, I was about 4 or 5 years old. I went to Unity Raceway with my nana and papa and got hooked. I remember sleeping on the bleachers right by the flag stand down by the walkway and watching the Wildcats with, Denny Knight and JP Cody all the way to the pro stocks with Matt Lee and Dean Fuller. A lot of rivalries back then, and that's what got me hooked into racing. Fast forward into my life, I ended up finally getting a race car and putting it together and made my first attempt to start racing at Unity.
Yeah.
Back in 2016. And
how'd that go?
Well, I made an attempt. Let's put it that way. I had a Volkswagen Golf, and they dropped the green flag, and the motor blew up as soon as I put the throttle down, and didn't even make it to the green flag. Fell about 60 feet short of starting my first race. So
that took all the fun out of it.
Yeah, it did. But I met some good people up there. I'm sure you've heard of them and seen them around. James Grover and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We've been friends ever since. Got rid of the Volkswagen and got myself an Escort, and that's what started the whole Williams Racing. Is when I finally got into my Escort, built the car. It was black and blue with pink numbers for my daughter who was coming along. And
I actually went back on your Facebook and I was looking at that last night. The race court.
Yeah, the race court. That's what I try to give all my race cars a nickname, and that one was called the race court because no matter what, it wanted to race, but she rotted right around the motor pretty much, and I drove that car till pretty much the wheels fell right off.
Yeah, it looked like it saw its fate. Yeah, unfortunately.
I mean it did. It rotted out on all 4 corners, and when the 4th corner went on it, I was like, yeah, I'm done.
You get some top 3s with it at all?
No, I never got any top 3s. I struggled a lot with that car, but it was fun. It was just a hobby for me, so. At that point in time, starting up, if I didn't have the funds to fix the car sat, and I'd just go watch racing. And so that was my struggling start into racing, and then finally I started building more cars and got my name out there and got some sponsors and raced quite a few years down at Wiscasset Speedway. So.
Okay, so you raced Wiscasset. Any other tracks in between?
Well, I've raced a lot of Maine and New Hampshire tracks. I've raced at Oxford. I've raced Bangor. Speedway 95, I should say. I've raced Star Speedway in Epping, New Hampshire. I raced Riverside in Groveton, New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fun track. So I've raced a lot of tire tracks, and if I could put a car on a racetrack, that's pretty much where I wanted to be.
You can have all 4 wheels on that track going in circles. You're all for it.
Absolutely.
Because that's where you find your happy place.
Absolutely. And my motto every time I went to the track, if I show up with a smile and leave with a smile, it was a good day.
And you're the one guy that I always saw with a smile. Regardless of how the race went, it did not matter. You were always in a happy mood. Absolutely. You were always willing to razz anyone. Me, nameless times. Absolutely. I'm the guy that had the least experience, but you know what? I always had a smile when I was pitting next to you because, I was next to a great guy.
Absolutely.
Never had a problem.
I mean, build a lot of friendships at the racetracks, and like I say, I'm willing to help anybody. Everybody's, pretty good people. It's just, I'm there for a good time, and that's what I always tell people. I'm there for a good time. I'm there to have fun.
Absolutely. So you spent years running tar. You were running Maine, New Hampshire tracks. Then all of a sudden, you appeared at a dirt track one day. I remember that day.
Yeah, that was actually pretty exciting. I was driving 02 Honda Civic, painted up just like the Days of Thunder car.
Yep.
And I I heard that Unity had opened back up, and I wanted to go try it out, whether it was dirt or pavement, just because of childhood memories and everything. And I put that Civic on the dirt, and that thing hooked up better than I ever had it on the pavement, and just got hooked on the dirt and
And
kept going.
you were so worried that you were going to have to do so much tweaking just to adjust from a car that runs tar to running it on the dirt.
Yeah.
You literally didn't have to do anything.
No, I literally drove Wiscasset Speedway, and then the next day I loaded up and I headed to Unity, and I put that car on dirt, and that thing hooked better than I'd ever imagined. And everybody kept asking me, "What did you change to take that from tar to dirt?" I was like, "Absolutely nothing." I was like,
Didn't change a thing.
I haven't touched tire pressures. I didn't touch any toe, no camber, no nothing. I literally ripped it off the pavement and put it on dirt.
And the rest is history after that. I mean, I watched you sling that thing, and I'm thinking to myself, we got a guy that runs tar. Let's see how quick he can adjust to dirt. Heat race. Like, wow, he's got it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what actually got me hooked to wanting to stay on dirt for a couple of years now is I went up and had a race of my life, and I got my very first heat win after 7 years of racing, and
Yep.
that I was like, man, I could actually win. Like, it was exciting.
Oh, yeah.
It put the joy that I lost a little bit back into racing. So.
Including the challenge that every lap is never the same when it comes to dirt. We know that track changes on an instant every time.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's no two laps alike at Unity Raceway, but I tell you what, once you get out there and get driving, it's the adrenaline, the excitement.
Oh, yeah.
It is. It's just like starting all over again.
Yep. So you spent 2023 running both. You were running tar and you were running dirt.
Yep.
But you ended up having to take a little bit of a break, unfortunately.
Yeah, in 23, I had some health issues. I had to park the car and worry more about my health and my family than racing. So
yeah,
it was, I mean, for me, it was a hard time to sit at the track because I'd still go to the track because I wanted to be there, but not to be behind the wheel of a car, kind of.
Showing support.
Yeah.
Being there for everyone.
It did, but I mean, I loved being there. I'd show up, help anybody, kind of like Dom,
Yeah, go around, help.
Oh, you need this, you got that, and that's the way it was for the longest time with me, oh, go see Chess, see if he's got this, see if he's got that. I always told everybody, if I ain't got it, you don't need it.
Exactly. That's a great theory until it's that one tie rod you need and you don't have it. Then you got a problem.
That actually reminds me of that back at 23 when I had the Civic, I snapped the tie rod, and I actually had the tie rod in my truck. I was like, I saw that it snapped, and I was like, I actually have that part.
I'm getting back on the track.
Yeah, so.
But the unfortunate back-to-back motor issues you had with that car too. The viewing windows, we shall say.
Yeah, quite a few blocks that I'd put some windows into.
Yeah.
I loved the car, but I just couldn't seem to keep a motor in it.
That just seemed to be a constant battle, and I feel your pain on that because I went through my rookie year month of racing. The motor in mine went sky high, and I still sent that thing on its last two cylinders to get a second place.
Yeah, absolutely.
Biggest thrill of my night, that car did not restart until the next day. Once everything cooled down, she had a bit of a skip.
Yeah, but
a bit of a knock.
Yeah.
But in your case, the viewing window just says you can't keep oil in me.
No. There's been plenty of those, so.
But, you'd still get it back together if you get out there and race every chance that you could. You had great sponsors that were helping you along the way. And that led you up to your first Long John.
Oh, man, what a rush. That was an amazing weekend, my first Long John.
Did better than me.
I mean, there's been quite a few nights that, bring special memories, but the first Long John there, that brought back a lot of memories for me.
What did you finish that night? Do you remember?
I don't remember exactly where I finished. I think I'm pretty sure I got a top 5 that night. I think I was either 4th or 5th, but I don't remember exactly where I finished, but it was a fun night.
Yeah. For me, I was in the back. I was trying to battle my way up, and I got caught in lap traffic. Someone came up the middle of us. I tapped the bank and ended on my side. I'm like, hey, if you can't be spectacular to get a top 3, go spectacular on your side.
Absolutely.
You know, make a statement. You're on the biggest show at the end of a race season. Do something fantastic if you have to.
Right? Leave people with things to talk about for the winner. You remember that guy that did
Yeah,
that?
exactly. I watched all the videos that were taken in crowd, the one that's taken on track of, you know, how that whole thing happened. And poor Spud, he comes up in that cobalt right behind me, almost smacked in the rear end of me, and he's trying to hit his brakes and crushed into the bay. But at least you two guys, you both finished top 10. We're pretty sure he finished 10th. He was able to pull out the top 10 for the payout. And yeah, you were up there at least top 5.
Yeah.
It was still a great night regardless. I mean, we had a full field, though.
Oh.
I want to say 23, 25 cars, I think, that Long John and Fast Fours.
I think so. I think there was quite a few cars there.
That was probably the biggest race that we had of all season.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a constant rotation of, you know, we'd have nights that there'd only be 3 cars, then there'd be 7 cars and 4 cars. It was always back and forth. But I mean, that Long John, we had a lot of guys from Enduro come over.
Yep.
Like, all right, whatever, race with us, you know, more competition. Why not? Let's have some fun with this. That's what it was all about.
Yep.
And it goes back to your theory. We're there to race. We're there to have fun. Yeah, it's competition. Yeah, tempers flare. We watch it in the pits all the time.
Absolutely.
But what's it worth? What's it worth? You risk getting kicked out of the pits if you're going to throw a temper towards another driver. And we've watched it happen.
Right. I mean, and that brings me back to, you know, life and racing. I've had my tangles with fair share of drivers out on the track, you know.
Mm-hmm.
From either, you know, one way or another, you know how drivers are. Sooner or later, they never forget. No matter what anybody says. Oh, it may take time for something to happen, but when it comes to racing, a race car driver never forgets.
Oh, no.
And, I mean, me and a couple of good buddies, one of them that I grew up with, you know, we tangled up at Wiscasset one year, and we got talking and worked everything out. It was just misunderstanding, and I ended up getting put into the wall pretty hard towards the end of 22 at Wiscasset, and that was good friends that ended up not being no more. So it's
unfortunate when it happens.
Yeah, it happens. Racing's racing in my eyes. I mean, forgive and forget type deal.
I mean, you and I have had our rubs on the track, and it's like, all right, whatever.
Oh, there's been plenty of times that me and you talk before even racing. Look out, I'm coming.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that was that one race. I knew my car wasn't running right, and you were starting on, I think you were starting on the outside. Yes, you were on the outside of me.
Yeah.
My car wasn't running right. It was not handling. It was one of those two I was having an issue. And I already told you, take it.
Yep.
Just go ahead and take it. I'm not going to slow you down. If I know there's something wrong with my car, you just go ahead and take that. And yeah, I ended up falling back because right off the bat, couldn't handle.
Yep.
Because I think the track was also slopped out that day, too. That was the other issue. Because I could not get that thing to grab at all. And it's like, dude, if you've got the line, take it and just run. Just go.
I think that's one of the nights that I still had the Lexan in my windshield.
I think
and I
so,
got covered in mud, and I was looking out out beside the A pillar there, counting the banks on the infield. 1, 2, 3, turn.
Yeah. The one guy that doesn't need a windshield, doesn't need Lexan, he just knows when to count your corners.
Exactly. You count the banks and know when to cut it and hope it sticks.
Exactly. So we get through the 23 season, we head into 24. 24, the first point season in Unity. And I got the pleasure of hitting with you and James Grover that year.
Oh, absolutely.
And I tell you what, you two are hilarious to pit beside every time.
My wife jokes about it. She's like, "That's your track wife." I mean, me and James, like I said, we go back to my very first start back at Unity back in 2016, and we just became very good friends. And when we're on the track together, we're competitive.
Oh yeah,
especially when we're side by side with each other. We'll bump each other. We'll slam into each other.
I had the front row seat to that.
It gets pretty entertaining when me and him get on the track near each other.
Oh, so. It definitely was, because we're going back to that slopped out day of the track that day that I had you go ahead and take the pass on the start. I was behind. I think it was it was the heat race. I was behind you and Grover, and you guys were just side by side, and all of a sudden you're bouncing into each other, and I'm just like, I'm just missing the popcorn right now. I'm watching a great show. Then I hear a tire go flat. I'm like, oh, I'm definitely staying back and waiting for someone to spin out at that point, which one of you did end up getting turned. But
Yeah,
again,
I think that's the day that I was looking at the frog pond backwards, coming off of
yes.
pit road entry onto the track. I was
Yep,
sitting there
that's
like,
right. You spun right out. And I'm just trying to thread the needle and be ginger because it's like I don't want to ruin anyone's day and I don't want to get involved.
Yeah.
But trying to thread that needle, but it goes back to, you can't tell how a track condition's gonna be. Either it's gonna be dry and dusty, it's gonna be tight loose, it's gonna be slopped out. You never know.
Absolutely.
So you had an awesome 2024 season. I was plagued with constant car issues. Curse of the Civic, that's me. But you had an awesome run at Unity this past year.
Yeah, I mean, it started off rough. The first day, I'll admit it, my left safety inspection came around the bathrooms at Unity, and all of a sudden I blew a fuel line underneath the hood, and the whole car went up in flames.
Oh, yeah, not a good start.
But thanks to a bunch of guys, they dumped fire extinguishers. I went and grabbed a new fuel line and attempted to make the race with a burnt out wire and harness. I mean, we took the green flag, but there weren't nothing power wise or spectacular about it. But had chased some issues for probably the first 4 or 5 races, and then finally got the car running right thanks to a lot of help, and ended up finishing 7th in points and got my first 2 top 3 finishes of my career.
Yeah.
So
that was an awesome season. And I still remember when I finally showed up because I was definitely late to the party this past season. I was trying to hammer out my own demons in the garage, getting the Civic even ready. And I show up and it looks like someone had a barbecue on top of your engine.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what happened? Because that don't look right. Oh, it's fine. It runs. I can't identify any of these wire colors, but I'll go with you on this. This is fine.
I mean, black goes to black, and that charcoal goes to this one. So, hey, it all worked out.
Yeah, in the long run. I mean, that car, you went with it. You showed up to get her done a few times.
Yeah, I remember that it was a Sunday morning, and I messaged you out of the blue. It was like, what time's Get Her Done open up? Oh, green flags at noon, pits open at 10. I'm on my way.
Yeah. And just like that, boom, here comes Chess come rolling in with his car. I'm ready to race.
Yeah.
Trying to get that exhaust attached last minute. That didn't work out so well.
Unnecessary parts. I want to tell you how many times I lost exhaust pieces on a racetrack. Several videos of it. Let's just say that.
Yeah. And then you lose those very necessary bolts that hold important things in.
Yeah, I might have lost the bolt to the control arm and popped the axle out, but up until that point, we were having a phenomenal race. I think I was running second or third, maybe even fourth. I was racing Scotty there for, I believe, a podium position.
Yep.
So, and then we went into turn 3 and the right front dropped and she kept going straight.
Car went left and no, we're gonna keep going this way instead. I was like, oh, that sounded painful.
Yeah, I mean. It was fun though. We got the car put back together and finished off the season at Unity.
Yep.
It was a blast. I love racing.
Oh, absolutely. So, looking forward to your 2025 season. What are you racing for tracks and whatnot this year?
Well, my main focus, I'm hoping, as long as everything works out right, is to be Unity Raceway.
Mm-hmm.
I got a teenage boy. He's gonna race this year. We were talking about Fast Fours, but I think for him it's going to be the Warrior division just to get him some experience. And then I also got a younger boy that wants to bring his Dodge Neon to dirt that he's had for years. So
nice.
Might be a 3-car team this year for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, so Williams Team Racing is definitely expanding.
Yeah, it's expanding. It's definitely family oriented. Always has been. And so, yeah, 25, I think it's going to be Unity.
Mm-hmm.
Might plan a few surprise visits up to Get Her Done just to do some shock and awe, here and there.
Oh, absolutely.
Have some fun. So,
absolutely. Hey, we got to support all these dirt tracks.
Oh, absolutely. Dirt tracks, especially up here in this area, they're a dying breed.
They definitely are.
So, I mean,
we got to thank guys like Joey Doyen and Steve Ratcliffe.
Absolutely.
These guys are putting their heart and soul to keep these tracks going for us.
Yes. I mean, if it wasn't for them and their dedication to providing places for us drivers to race, we
We'd
wouldn't
have
have
nothing.
it.
Exactly. So, looks like you're going to have a busy season. You've got a full line of cars that you're going to have to keep going for an entire year now.
Yeah, it's gonna be busy in between work and
Oh, yeah.
cars. So,
So, definitely going to be looking forward to that. Yeah, Williams Racing on Facebook. Go give him a like. Follow this guy. Follow his team this year because they got a lot of big things going for them.
absolutely.
So let's come down to the big question that I've been dying to ask you, and a lot of people want to know this. What is your favorite? Is it tar or is it the dirt?
That is really a really tough question to answer. I mean, obviously, I fell in love with tar to start racing because it was the only thing around to race, but I will say, ever since I touched dirt, I don't really have an interest in tar anytime soon. It's pretty much going to be dirt for me for the inevitable future
Yeah.
from right now. So can't guarantee exactly how long, but I'm pretty sure I'm a dirt guy.
Until you get that itch to ever go touch the tar again.
I mean, if I had the right car with the right setup, and something enticed me to go back to tar.
Yep.
I mean, it's just tar racing ain't as fun as dirt racing, and from just my personal experience, there's a lot more issues off the track from tar pavement than there is dirt racing.
There it is.
So,
There's the answer to that question right there. So you want to give any of your sponsors a shout out for the 2025 season? Table's all yours on that one.
well, for sponsors, I got to give a shout out to all my past sponsors and my current sponsors. I've got Hope General Store. Damon, he sponsored me pretty much from day one. And I got Union Redemption, Mainly Medical, Robbins Construction. I've got, there's so many. It's I got Ed Seafood up in Skowhegan that he sponsors my boy and stuff. So there's quite a few. I know I'm forgetting quite a few. All Play in Belfast. Lynn and Paul, they've been one of my biggest supporters of my entire racing career. They're always excited to jump on board and sponsor the car, and they're good people.
Yeah, so. Awesome. Well, there it is. Definitely a really exciting episode. I'm so happy to have you here, Chess. This was definitely worth it. You're definitely going to be coming back for a lot more episodes.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, I talked to Grover, and I'm going to drag him over here, and we'll have a big sit down.
Oh, I can't wait for that one. James, if you're watching, I can't wait to have you on Off the Dirt, and I'll have a good talk with this guy. We'll get some more information and more stories. That's for dang sure. I can tell you that. So, guys, like I said, go on to Facebook, find Williams Racing, give them a like, and follow them. As always, find BEM Team Racing and CVC on Facebook as well. Give us a like and subscribe to us on YouTube, BEM Team Racing. Until then, we'll catch you in the next episode.